Hey bro, everything's back to normal. I'm just gonna hit the road again and not ever stream. That's cool, right? Wrong. Streaming is here and it is here to stay, folks. Yes, people are touring again and life is sort of swung back in the other direction a little bit, but streaming is still the easiest way to reach a massive percentage of your audience at one time. And that is the perfect segue into this episode's topic. We've talked about tech, we've talked about the industry, but today I want to talk about something that is far and away more important than the technology you use. That is building a community. Now, this may seem like sort of an amorphous and abstract concept to nail down, but there's some very straightforward things you can do to ensure that you're not just streaming for the sake of it, but growing every time you stream. And we're gonna do that with the holy trinity of marketing. The big three, the triad of triangles, the three C's. Every advice column seems to break things down into a bunch of words that start with the same letter. So I thought, why not do the same thing? You know, why reinvent the wheel? What are the three C's? They are communication, consistency, and creativity. So let's start with communication. It's that thing that people study in college when they don't know what they want to do with their life. Want to know why my wife is still with me after 17 years? It's not because of this sweet receding hairline. It's because of a little thing called communication. Ever heard of it? And communication is number one when it comes to building your fan base and your community. How are people going to know what you're doing if you don't tell them? How are they gonna know that you're playing a show if you don't let them know? How are they gonna know what your sense of humor is if you're not sharing sweet Jacob Collier memes? Yay! But how much communication is necessary? This is really the magic question because it all depends on your personality. Do you have something to say about everything? Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't try that. Maybe try funneling your efforts into what you're trying to accomplish. Do you want to be playing more live shows than you are right now? Ask your fans where they are and what their favorite venues are in their towns. And then once you do that, you book a show at that venue and get those fans, the small but mighty group of people to help spread the word. And before you know it, you've got a street team. Now, on the other hand, if you're paralyzed by the idea of even talking to people in the first place, and believe it or not, I've been there, you're going to need to go outside of your comfort zone. This is all a business of relationships. You can't just go live on Twitch or YouTube and expect people to show up. There are literally millions of people that go live every single month. So before you even try to figure out what your stream is going to look like, you need to identify the avenues that you can drive down to let people know that you are going live in the first place. The first ones to look at are the obvious ones: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Oh hell, the metaverse. Email lists. These are the easy ones. There are also some newer ways to reach out to people. There's an app that I use called Community, not a sponsor. This app, for a fee every month, you get a separate phone number from your normal phone number that you can use to text people. You can get all their phone numbers together and you can group them into different communities on the Community app. And then you can also group them by area code, which is super helpful if you're going to play a show in Boston, but you don't want to let people in Phoenix, Arizona, you don't want to bother them with a text message, you know? It's pretty cool if you don't abuse it, because the last thing that anybody wants is 5 texts a day from anyone about anything. I also use an app called Discord, which allows for multiple different topics all happening once in different conversations. It's also got video chatting and phone calls. Discord is super cool, and if you want to know what it's all about, you can join mine at the link below here. Write that into your address bar, and it'll send you to a link and you'll be able to join my Discord. I'm on there almost every day, talking to folks, answering questions, posting memes and bird videos, you know. Now, all these services aren't just for letting people know that you're going live. You can do merch drops. You can ask them their opinions on designs, letting them know that there's gonna be a live show in their area that you'll be playing at, last minute changes to your streaming schedule, all that sort of stuff. And yes, memes. Also, both Twitch and YouTube have built-in email notifications for when you go live, so that's something you don't really have to worry about. The last thing you want is your Twitter feed to be, hey guys, I'm going live 300 times. And letting people know that you're going live is something that you really only consistently need to do at the beginning of your streaming. Once people get your schedule kind of into their minds and under their belts, they'll be coming to see you on a regular basis anyway. And this right there, that brings us to the second of the 3 C's. Just like my best friend in high school, Jeremy Morton, and I used to hook our Xboxes together every weekend to play Halo for 16 hours straight, consistency with any relationship is absolutely the key. Having something to look forward to is one of the best things that you can give your fans. And live streaming on a schedule is one of those keys to consistency. If you only go live 3 days a month and it's 3 separate weekdays, people are gonna forget about you quickly. Statistically, someone needs to see an ad 7 times before they act on it. Pick 3 days a week that you can go live consistently. I've done the 7 days a week thing. I did it for 45 days straight. I've known other streamers that have done the 7 days a week thing. I'm not saying don't try that. Definitely try it at some point. But most streamers stick to 3 days a week. And I think you'll probably like that as well. Now, we all need a break from social media and the internet every now and then. It's a healthy thing. But the only way to actually take a break from something is if you've already been doing it consistently. So get on a schedule and stick to it. I promise you, if you tell people you're going live and you go live consistently and regularly, you will have a better chance of growing your viewership. Also, when you miss a stream or have to cancel a stream, people will miss you. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And when you do an extra stream without telling them, maybe in a separate location that you don't normally stream from, it's like a special event, and it makes it that much cooler. Once you've got your schedule set and you're streaming on a regular basis and people are coming to watch you, then you've got their attention. It's time for the fun stuff. Good communication and consistency are absolutely key to making this work, but you have to have an X factor of some sort, some reason to truly keep people coming back and telling others about it. Just like any good relationship, you've got to keep the spark alive, and this is where you can let your imagination run wild. Everything from learning a song live on stream that you've never played before to doing a push-up every time somebody tips you $1 in your chat. You don't have to have a ton of technology to keep things interesting. I saw somebody in a stream one time they had a simple overlay of them singing Africa by Toto every time somebody donated $7.77. Why that number? I have no idea. Does it really matter? No. If you do have the technological savvy to make things fly across the screen and be very complicated, then go for it. But a word of caution. When I first started streaming and things started to pick up, I made an overlay that I would have to trigger every time somebody came onto the stream. Every inside joke, I had a separate overlay that I would have to click. And I had to remind myself that every funny moment, every catchphrase and inside joke, it's not mine, it's theirs. It's not yours, it's your audience's. So keep that in mind. The quickest way to get rid of an inside joke and make it not cool is to overuse it. Let them be in control of your stream. I've got a couple of overlays that when people type in certain commands into chat, they can either make hearts rain down from the ceiling or they can make an audience appear in front of me and start clapping. But I don't trigger those things, they do. You want to be focusing on growing the stream and interacting with your audience, not pressing buttons everywhere every time something is supposed to happen. So the more you can automate, if you do want craziness, you got to automate it. You need to be focusing on your people, not on that stuff. Control is the name of the game, and giving your audience just a little bit of it, just enough, really takes things to another level. Now, outside of the live stream, you've got to be doing content for that as well. Don't just do the live stream or put together compilations from your live stream without getting creative with it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a good compilation, but when you put the compilation out, do a little bit of extra editing to it. Make it funny. Highlight a moment that isn't immediately obvious. That's the kind of thing that really sets it apart. And you need to be creating different content for every single outlet. Every single social media platform needs to have some sort of different approach to it. It sounds like a lot of work, but I promise you, once you are consistent with it, it really becomes just like a machine. And honestly, TikTok videos are like 15 seconds. So that's 15 seconds times 40 takes to get it right, plus an hour of editing the video, plus like 10 minutes to get the audio right. Yeah, that's like 20 minutes. You could do that. That's easy. You can spare that if it means bringing more people to your pages. Also, little footnote, don't use multi-stream unless you absolutely have to. Multi-stream is a service that you pay for where you broadcast to multi-stream and it multi-streams to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I think maybe they can do Instagram now, but there's no reason to go to all of those things. You want to give people reasons to go to each of your content platforms because each of them is unique. So unless you're doing some sort of special event, don't just use multi-stream to try to take care of everything all at once. It doesn't work like that. So we've talked about the 3 C's. That's communication, consistency, and creativity. But there's one more C that I want to add into the mix. So we no longer have a triad, we have a quadad. The 4th C we need to discuss is currency. It's the thing that everybody wants and nobody ever wants to talk about. How are you going to monetize your stream? Well, before you can even think about the money that you're going to be making, you have to figure out the ways that you're going to be taking in the money you're making. So, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, WhatsApp, Apple Pay, Amazon gift cards, food stamps, carrier pigeons. If there's a way for somebody to pay you for doing what you're doing, you need to have it and be on it. This is no time to pull punches. You never ever want to lose money because somebody doesn't have Cash App, Jessica. Also, use the same name on every money intake service. On Venmo, I'm ManBun32, but on Cash App, I'm Walmart brand Justin Timberlake. Once you have all of that set up, it's time to make some real decisions about where you want to send fans who want to be a bigger part of your career and your community. Some streaming services have built-in subscription tiers like YouTube or Twitch, but if you're going to be going live on Instagram or Facebook, then you need a way for people to subscribe to your content on a regular basis. Like a magazine. You don't know what a magazine is? It's the thing that your grandma lines her rabbit cage with. What am I doing? Anyway, this can be done with a website like Patreon, where you can choose the subscription levels and how many you have, and fans can either subscribe on a monthly basis or per video that you create. You set the tiers, and Patreon takes a percentage of all that. There are even website builders like Squarespace where you can inject crowdfunding into certain parts of your website. Lots of options, so go exploring and find the option that works best for you and your audience. There's going to be a lot of trial and error with these things, so don't be scared if something doesn't work. Just pivot and try something else. Make sure you communicate what you're doing to your fans consistently and creatively, and everything should be fine. But just to recap this episode, the C's, they are communication, consistency, creativity, currency, cordial. If you want to know more and you've got questions for me, join me on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/NickBlackMusic. Thanks for joining me. I will see you in the next video.